but let's go ahead and dive into it. So let's talk Shedeur Sanders first. He's someone we always talk about, someone we always recap and preview, and so I want to continue doing that. So Sanders, 30 of 45 yesterday in the loss against USC, 371 yards, 4 TDs, 1 interception, had 50 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown on the ground. So 5 total touchdowns for Shedeur Sanders. Another really good game for him. If you take out the first quarter, which you can't because it's part of football, take the first quarter and you play how you play in the second and the third and the fourth quarter and the first quarter, maybe the game is different. But there's a lot of good takeaways to talk about Shedeur Sanders. And yes, we're not going to dive into Caleb Williams because we don't have a lot of USC followers on here, but Williams is awesome. He should probably win the Heisman again this year. He's unreal. So with that said, I just want to give a little Caleb Williams love, but let's talk Shedeur Sanders. Takeaways for me was, one, his ability to use his legs a lot more. There's some more design plays with him running the ball, which I thought was really good. And then also he was able to scramble more. And you saw in the past few games, he was scrambling to pass. This time he scrambled to run, which I think was a way to slow down the pass rush. There wasn't as much pressure as there was the past few games or the past of the season so far. Now they still got pressure. I think he still had like pressure on 30% of his dropbacks, but it wasn't as much. I think that had to do with, one, Shedeur using his legs, and two, the run game was a lot more effective. You saw them get the ball out quick. You saw the offense almost look a bit more like it was against TCU, and the ball was coming out quick. And they kind of weathered the storm. They got down early. It was 34-7. I was kind of thinking, man, this looks like Oregon now. But they had like a switch go on essentially, and people can say USC's defense, took off the pedal, took their foot off the pedal, whatever. But the regardless though, they were like 1 touchdown away from coming back and winning that game. So I think the fact that he used his legs a lot more, I think that has to be an answer to the pressure that is potentially going to be there moving forward. That's going to take pressure off the offensive line. Yeah, his game is sitting in the pocket and picking you apart, but sometimes you have to adjust the scheme, adjust what someone's really good at, and he can still run the ball. So I think you use that ability to slow down the pressure, which is what they did, and it worked. Again, like we said, if the first quarter wasn't there, they scored multiple touchdowns in every quarter but the first quarter. So obviously football is 4-quarter game, so you can't just take away the first quarter. Another thing that they were able to do to slow down the run or to slow down the pass rush was they were able to use play action. And play action was something that he was really good at against TCU. He was like 14 of 15 against TCU. And they weren't able to use play action as much the following games just because the run game wasn't getting going. So the fact the run game was effective and you were able to use more play action, and you also had more screens. They had 10 total screens yesterday, and you completed 9 of them. So you had all these different answers for pressure, and it protected the offensive line. You were able to score points and move the ball. So again, the 3 keys, the 3 big takeaways for me was just another adjustment of the offense. You were able to use your legs via Shedeur. You had screen plays that you were able to get involved with. Then you're able to use play action. And you're still able to push the ball downfield. He still was 4 or 5 on passes, 20 yards or more thrown in the air downfield. So he was still accurate as can be, thrown all over. You just had to kind of get there in a different way. And man, number 14 is a stud. I forget his name. I apologize, Colorado fans. But number 14 is the real deal at receiver. I think he's someone that he complements the other receivers really well, because other receivers are maybe a bit more like shifty and quick, maybe slot receiver-ish in nature. And 14's a guy who's able to go up and get the ball, right? He's a little bit bigger, I believe, and he's able to go up and get the ball, make some really, really kind of pretty impressive plays, right? I also loved his answers post-game, talking about, they talked about play calling, they talked about a bunch of different stuff, but I thought it was a really mature approach, because they were, I don't know if the exact question, but a lot of people, during the last drive, and they're going to tie the game, we're talking about, Sean Lewis, they're running too much. It's a slow. They're slowing the tempo down. Why is Sean Lewis calling this plays? And Shedeur's like, no, I made that. I made the checks. Like, I'm coached to do that. He was like, it's not on him, it's on me type deal. So I thought that was like a really just mature answer, which of course you expect if you're been following Shedeur. But just a lot to take away, right? Obviously, there's no moral victories. You want to get away with. You want to get the victory. But the big takeaways from Shedeur was, the maturity, adjusting the game, which I think adjusting the way that he played, which I think had a lot to do with probably Sean Lewis, and they called more screens, more play action. The run game got involved. The ball was getting out a bit quicker, protected the offensive line a bit more. Like we said, pressure was still there, but I think it was slowed down, and you were still accurate downfield. You still had 4 completions of 20 yards or more downfield. So I think it was a really good offensive game plan once you got going, once you weathered the storm. So I think it's an improvement. I think it was a big step forward. Again, he was 30 of 45, 371 yards in the air, 4 TDs, 1 pick, 50 yards on the ground, and a touchdown. So another good game by Shedeur. And like we mentioned earlier, we're not really talking about Caleb Williams, but man, that guy is unreal, right? Like, he's probably going to win the Heisman again this year. But for the simple fact, we don't have a lot of people that are USC fans. We'll stick with just the Shedeur breakdown. But anyone watching, let us know if you've got any comments or anything below about Shedeur or anyone else that we have coming up. But those are the big takeaways from Shedeur Sanders. And so I think you can expect more improvements, more to be built on. Then when Travis Hunter gets back, that offense continues to go. So let's see where. So here's a touchdown by Shedeur that put them within 2 touchdowns. This was beginning of the fourth quarter, like 12 minutes left. 4th and 5. He rolls out here. Boom, and throws a dart right here. Really, really good throw. Everyone knows this, throwing on the run. Number 14. Again, sorry, Colorado fans, I don't remember the name, but man, that guy is a stud. So again, this is not all 22, so I kind of have to it's a gamecast footage, broadcast footage, so move it a little slow. So I apologize, not great quality. But coming out, watch his eyes remain downfield the whole time. Looking, able to make one guy miss, and then the throw as people are coming in. There's not a lot of room for error. I'll pause in a second, but really, really good throw. Boom. Touchdown. Hell of a throw. Great job. Just wanted to show one quick clip of Shedeur, my favorite throw of the game from yesterday, or whenever you're watching this from this past weekend. So again, thanks for watching this video. Please consider liking, subscribing, sharing. And this video was a quick clip. This quick clip of Shedeur was one of our live shows that we just put this video attached to. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.